Hey guys, I wanted to jump on here today and talk to you a little bit about something that I had mentioned inside of one of my groups. Got to get a little comfy here, shake everything out. So I had mentioned in one of my groups about going through a workout and not really feeling like what I was doing. And it made me think about all the different places I've been in life and the different experiences that I've had. And it was always like a rush experience. So it was like never really fully felt. I knew that I enjoyed it, but I never really captured it inside of my heart or anywhere else for that matter, to keep it as a huge memory for me, or even like an activation for my body. So when I mentioned this, I had a lot of ladies that had jumped on and they're like, oh my God, I've never taken the time to actually like sit with myself and just feel the feeling or feel, what they were going through at the time and to actually like name what they were going through. So when I started doing this, it was probably 3 weeks ago, I do believe. It was in week 3 of my total body transformation that I'm doing with Chris Downing. And it was kind of weird because I've worked out before and I've, done the healthy journey and, all those good things that you start to do and then you fall off. And, I figured out the reason I fall off. I fall off because I don't feel it. I fall off because I lose my why. Okay. So all this rambling comes all together pretty quick. So what I was talking to ladies about was feeling it and just taking that couple seconds for yourself to feel inside of your body. Like, okay, am I feeling, this was my workout, mind you. Am I feeling this in when I'm doing a curl? Am I feeling all my muscles activating? Am I feeling, when I'm doing a squat, am I feeling all my muscles in my thighs and down my legs? And am I feeling my heel on the floor? So what I started doing was actually grounding myself first when I go down to work out. So that's just, sending the roots down the feet. And it's also sending the energetic cord out my tailbone and just sending it down to Grandmother Earth. Okay. And then I pull up her energy and bring it into my body and just, so I'm present in the moment and I'm actually in a feeling moment. Okay. Nice and centered, nice and balanced, ready to go. Okay. So I do that first. And then each movement that I'm doing, I'm checking in. Okay. Am I feeling this or am I throwing it? I was noticing that when I first started, that my left side was not engaging, which is our female side. It's our past side. It's, all the wonderful arguments that you've been in or the hurts that you've held. It wasn't engaging. I've been very overstimulated throughout my life and I never realized that I wasn't putting it all back into me. Okay. So then I'd grab the weight and, I would do the curl with my left. And it's like, okay, am I feeling each of the muscles? And I wasn't even closing my eyes. I was just feeling it coming up and just making sure that everything was engaging all the way up. When I was going down, into the squat, okay, I'm engaging all the way down. And when I got to the, seated position for the squat, I was just making sure, okay, am I feeling this all throughout? Because you can go through the motions as fast as you want to, but if you're not feeling it and feeling the connection and feeling like the engagement, obviously, if you're not feeling any of that, what are you building? You're just doing it for repetition. You're doing it just to get it done. And I was really tired of just getting things done. So now it's come back to the feeling of everything. And I can actually tell now that, when I do the curl, when I do the crunches, and I tell you, I do not do crunches on the floor because that just is not me. I do crunches standing up. And that has changed so much in my life. Feeling the engagement with my stomach and not the hump in my stomach. It's actually doing crunches standing up has actually like tightened all of my muscles in my stomach, and I can actually feel all of them, all the way from like the pubic bone. I can feel all the muscles tightening up every time I do a crunch. Side note, had to tell you that. But anyways, so I just ask you to, take those couple seconds for yourself. It doesn't have to be a whole 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be, a sit-in meditation and just think about each movement. It's a simple, okay, let's connect. And do I feel this? Where do I feel this? And how do I feel this? If there's tension there or resistance there, okay, now you want to ask, okay, why do I have resistance here? What am I scared of? Or what doesn't feel right? How can I change this to feel less resistance? Sometimes your body just doesn't want to move in a certain way, and it's, finding the proper way that it does want to move. Okay. And then just asking, what am I feeling right now? All right. Especially if you do that right before, say, you're working out. I'm referring to that because that's kind of where my head is at right now, is working out, getting healthy. I just turned 47. So it's that getting my mind frame back into, the rest of my life is going to be the healthiest part of my life. So that means spiritually, that means physically, that means emotionally, that means, my heart is going to be super healthy and super open and ready to expand. It's all of that. So, but that's why I refer to working out all the time, is because that's where I'm at right now, is getting my body healthy. So before a workout, check in with yourself, see how you're feeling, and don't let the old self win. If you check in with yourself and your body's like, hey, I don't want to fucking do this today, that's your old self that doesn't want to move forward. Move forward. Whether it's just a couple minutes of, okay, why don't I want to work out? Is this my real voice, or is this the old me stuck in the habit, stuck in the limitation? Okay. And then after you name it, take some deep breaths, move it out, and then just get moving. Okay. And then during your workouts, if something doesn't feel right, like I said, change it, like I did. All of the workouts that I've been doing, everybody is doing core on the ground. I don't want to do core on the ground. I want to do core standing up. And I have felt that I get more done standing up than what I do when I'm laying down. And then when your workout is done, just kind of check in with yourself again. Okay. Celebrate that you did the workout or whatever you're doing, whether it's business or writing or whatever. Celebrate that. And then, check back in. How am I feeling right now? Am I proud? Am I tired? Am I ready to go for more? And push your limits. Sometimes, when you get done with a workout, sometimes you still got a 2-mile walk in you, push it. But anyways, this is the 3-second check-in, and it's really simple. I gotta stop saying that's a bad thing for me. But the 3-second check-in is just checking in with yourself, taking that time and celebrating that you're taking that time too. Okay. And make sure you celebrate after you get done, checking in with yourself. All right. So if you need more help on this, just let me know. You can message me. You can find my page at Tracy Morden or at Morden a Feeling on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Morden a Feeling, and I do have a station on TikTok, if that's what it's called, channel station. I don't know. I haven't fully started it yet. So maybe I'll put this there too. I don't know. Who knows? We're open for all seasons now, aren't we? All right. Well, check in with yourself and have fun with it. And I love you guys, and great big hug, and see you guys later.